Hi, welcome everybody. This is Tom from MASALAKRAUT. Only one half though, but we are here with another interview, and this one is really interesting because it's a female voice, and I'm really excited to talk to her about Indian cinema and what women play a certain role in the cinema and what it's going to be for the future. So that's going to be really exciting. So let's welcome our guest today, Sruthi Hariharan. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
I cannot complain. It's a very sunny day today here, but I mean, you mentioned already it's raining over there again. It's monsoon season, right?
Yes, it is. And usually around the time of Diwali,
Hmm.
it's always raining. So it's quite funny because here there are people trying to burst firecrackers, but the rain gods decide to shower rains on you. But it's nice. It's good.
Good.
At
Yeah.
least like
How?
that.
Yeah. Happy
So
Diwali, first of all. Yeah. How was it? How was the celebrations? You had a good time?
it was okay. It was with family. It was small. It was nice. It was the way I'd like to have it. So it's perfect.
That's awesome. Yeah. I just want to thank you before we start off, my Kinoplex, Barash and Girid, who always help us to get these great interviews with great people like you. So I'm really excited and that they give us the opportunity. So check them out for especially for German cinemas. Check out mykinoplex.com. They are the guys that bring us the movies. We're just the mediators, basically between the cinema and them, because they are the real stars and not us. But thank you so much for helping us to do this interview. Um,
Absolute pleasure.
you're good friends with Bharat. I think he said something like that, or how's that? How do you guys know each other?
Thanks. Oh, yeah. So the first time I met Bharat was also incidentally because of a film that we did.
Hmm.
A friend of mine, Shraddha, an actor, fantastic actor too. We both did a film together called Urvi.
Hmm.
URVI. And Bharat helped get Urvi to Germany, and
Hmm.
that's how we got both of us also on board. We met a lot of Indian Germans there,
Hmm.
and it was quite not just Germany. So we had this whole road trip planned up
Hmm.
until Eindhoven, yeah,
Yeah.
and we covered close to about 3,000 kilometers. Not even kidding, 3,000 kilometers in a day,
That's a
and that
lot.
was
That's a
mad.
lot.
Yeah, but it was crazy. It's also we also got a taste of your what's that barn called?
That what?
You in Germany there's this extremely fast freeway.
Oh, ICE, like the Interrail Express thingy, or what do you mean?
Yeah, something barn.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it's ICE. It's like an express train. Yeah.
sure. Okay, so we got a taste of that. It was pretty awesome. So that's from since then, Bharat and I have been friends.
Awesome. That's really great. I mean, we're in talks, by the way, with doing like maybe taking also a little road trip through Germany when there's time in the next year and do that with Bart and Gears, because sadly I have never met them in person yet, but we will definitely
What?
change that. Yeah, we're always talking on the phone though, but we never met in person, but this will change. I'll make
That's
sure
awesome.
of that. But yeah,
Yes.
let's get out into our first part, which are the quick answer questions. I have five for you for the first round, and you
Okay.
just answer what comes to your mind. Don't take too long. And yeah, so I'm asking you, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Favorite cinema?
Oh, uh, so many of them. Uh, Manichitratarya. It's a Malayalam film.
No, no, no,
It's an
no. Hold up, hold
Indian.
up. Yeah, not movie. We're gonna go favorite cinema. Which is the place? Do you have a favorite cinema
Oh,
where you like to go? This is your go-to cinema.
oh,
Hmm.
okay. Inox Bangalore.
Okay, there we go. What's your
Okay.
what's your favorite seat in the cinema?
In a cinema, a favorite scene.
Yeah,
The romantic one.
no, no, seat. Your favorite seat. Where do you like to sit?
Oh, seat.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh my God, Tom, this is going very well. I like to sit by the aisle, so if I
Okay.
want to the moment interval, I could run and go pick up popcorn.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Good choice. Then, what's your favorite snack? Is it popcorn? Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have gone with
Yeah.
nachos. You could have gone with nachos or gummies
No,
or whatever.
popcorn. And you won't believe it. I love caramel popcorn.
Oh, okay.
I
I
think one in a million.
I have seen a lot of movies this year in the cinema already, and and in general in life, but I'm not a popcorn fan, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah, not so much. But hey, it is what it is. I'm
It
more of
is.
a nachos guy, I have to say.
Mm.
But
Okay.
but everything like food in the cinema, I don't like it at all. I just like to be done when this next question.
Yeah.
Trailers or no trailers? By the trailers, it has to be done for me.
Trailers or no trailers? Trailers.
All right, all right. So you like to be spoiled.
I like to be spoiled. I like to watch the trailers in a big screen and
Hmm.
just get a taste of what we are in for. If I do go to watch the 2 hours, yeah, surely trailers. Yes.
All right.
You no trailers?
I do teasers, and I do sometimes trailers when I have to see them because I have to review the trailer or I have to like talk about the movie, and I'll do trailers. But um, uh, I like to get into a movie like as clear as possible, not without any.
You and I should not go for a film together.
Hey, I mean, the next time you come here over to Germany and promote a film, then you already know that, so I will be fine.
Yeah.
All right, then last one for this round is original or dubbed.
Original.
All right, just asking. I mean, there are a lot of people out there. You know the industry. They making remakes of movies that don't need
Of
one.
course. Yeah. I understand that it helps us reach a larger market
Hmm.
by dubbing the films, but
Yeah.
no, the original. Any day. Original and subtitles, I'm good with it.
I have to say, since I don't know, I've seen RRR this year, obviously in the cinema, and it was I don't know what happened to the subtitles because it was even I knew that it was wrong because like they had like when they talked about Ram as the character, yeah, they wrote down like the animal Ram, like a
Yeah.
ram,
Yeah. Yeah.
They wrote that down. I think I don't, was it German subtitles. I think so. Like the translation looked like Google Translate didn't know what it was doing. It was like weird.
Uh,
So
no.
sometimes I worry that I don't understand the movie correctly in a certain way, but I always also prefer subtitles.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about a little bit more about you and your career. So, when or how did this all happen that you wanted to turn to movies?
Yeah. So I was always a performer in college,
Hmm.
schools and college, all through my school and college. I was always on stage. I enjoyed performing. I enjoyed performing as a dancer or as a theater person. So it was always it made me feel complete every time I was on stage and completed and finished a show
Hmm.
or something. And right after college, so I did management. I'm a management grad.
Hmm.
And right after college, I decided that I cannot do, uh, a corporate job. I cannot sit for placements and get a job.
Hmm.
And the usual 9 to 5 doesn't work with me.
Hmm.
And I decided to become a professional dancer.
Hmm.
I was dancing even during my college days. And yeah, so a professional dancer is not a is not an ideal career choice, at least not in our time.
Hmm.
And my mom was extremely embarrassed by it. I remember my mom went, "What is this? Like, how do you even think you can make ends meet by just dancing your life away?"
Hmm. What?
And
Quick question. What kind of type was it? Contemporary or what are you dancing?
contemporary Bollywood.
Okay.
So you do the commercial dances to make the money,
All right.
and I was trying to train myself in contemporary movement also,
Hmm.
just for the love of it. And yeah, once in a while, we dabble around in classical.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was not easy,
Hmm.
right? And my mom
Understandable.
knew that.
Yeah.
So she was dead against it. But one thing led to another, and I started working as a background dancer in these films. You have seen all these films where all these stars are dancing in the front and then it
Of
cuts
course.
to
Of
the back.
course. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So that's where it began, and that was actually my first tryst with the camera happened as a background dancer
Hmm.
in a song which I'm not very proud of called Tuppa Beka Tuppa,
That means
which is
what?
one of my special dance. It means no, Tom, you don't want to know what
Oh,
it
okay. Okay.
means.
We're gonna leave it at that.
It means you want ghee. Like
Okay.
that's the literal translation.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, so I was dancing behind the female lead,
Hmm.
And but I love the environment. I love the environment of the set.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed being there, and I remember when all the other dancers went to chill or whatever, when it was not their take, I would still sit behind the monitor and just stare and just be there. Also, that happened because I knew the choreographer, but then I would not move from there. I really enjoyed watching what was being shot. And one thing led to another, and I started auditioning for films, independent films and short films. And one particular independent film that I did as an extra was literally the male actors, the male lead actors. I don't know, a date.
Yeah.
I was just that other date who would probably get a suggestion shot. That's all. Nothing.
Hey, that's
not even.
It's like in those, like, like they always say, like, if you play a dead body on a show, hey, you're in the show.
Yeah. So from there, the DOP of that independent film got me an audition for my first Kannada debut called Lucia. And the rest is history.
Right.
The audition went terribly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't know. I got the role, and I was committed to the process for about 2 years. And it was Lucia actually ticked a lot of boxes in filmmaking. It was the first digital film that was made back in the day when 5D was just entered the Indian market. We made a film using 5D cameras, and it was completely crowdfunded. We had close to 150 odd producers, So again, very, very new for the Indian market.
How was that in terms for you? It's like I mean, producers have a say, but how was that for that movie in terms of making it?
It was interesting because even now I've got people who come up to me and say, "Hey, you know what? We produced Lucia. We put money in your film," and you're like, "Oh, okay." So these are just names that you would see initially in the film, but then it's nice to meet those people in person, even years later, after the film is released and done what it needs to.
Yeah.
So
I totally understand that in terms of, because I just crowdfunded a book, so I feel you.
So yeah, so it is nice. It's nice. Lucia was a great experience, I must say.
I bet. I mean, it's a great movie. I've watched it, so it is really interesting. And it's like hard sometimes because I think I like rather the newer stuff that comes out of Indian cinema, but going further back to 2013, I think it was. It is also interesting to see that they have good stuff, and it's worth the watch. So people watch the movie.
Yeah.
Where does the passion, like, did you develop this kind of passion for cinema and movies before your background dancing career, or was it like, where does it come from?
I think I was always curious, intrigued, in awe of films. Always loved films. Always loved cinema. Always managed to catch films. Even as a child, my father loved films, and it used to be a ritual in television. Every Sunday afternoon there'd be a new film. This is way back when we didn't have the internet and not even mobile phones for that matter. I think you and I grew up in the time when we didn't have mobile phones in our hands, right? So at that time, I guess waiting for that Sunday afternoon film was like a thing in the family. We would finish housework fast and just sit in front of the TV and watch. So I was always in awe of filmmaking, of films. But the actual passion came when I was on set. To even see that, to make something that we watch on screen for that 1 minute takes that much time, that much effort, that many people, and all of it coming together into that one magical moment. That's crazy. That's mad.
It is totally, and that's why it was always hard. Like, I'm trying to be a critic, obviously, and you have to talk about movies, and you have to say things that good or bad, and it's sometimes like when people don't do that, they also this movie is shit. This is like, I don't know, I give it 0 out of 10 or whatever. But I can never do that, because I still see, even though the movie is bad, there's still a lot of work and effort that went into it. And I think you always have to credit that, at least to some degree.
Sure.
Yeah. And
So that's nice of you, Tom. But there are some movies which are absolute shit.
yeah, there are. Sadly, there are. I mean, I've sit through some. So especially
Yeah,
when they have Indian length. I mean, come on, 3 hours and then the movie's bad. Oh my God.
yeah.
And I'm the type of person who doesn't turn off the movie. I watched it to the end.
Oh.
And I have
I walked out here.
also never have left the cinema in my life.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Wow. That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh my
a
God.
lot of
Okay.
passion.
Sure. I guess my so the passion for films came from there, and then throughout my entire career of about like say 10 years now, it's always been a balancing act between doing what I love and doing some for money, just so that I remain afloat.
Yeah.
So there have been certain projects that have constantly, made me believe in the power of films and cinema. But some of them you just do it because, hey, you have to live and feed yourself.
Exactly. I mean, it's like Frances McDormand. She does a Marvel movie or something like that, makes some money, and then now she can make an indie movie that is her passion. So that's the spirit, right?
Yeah.
So have you ever seen any German movies in your life, or how's it on that end?
No, I haven't. I was just hoping you don't ask me this question. I unfortunately haven't.
It's okay.
In fact, I have watched French films. I watched Iranian films, of course, but never
Iranian
watched
films. How's the connection there? Like
film festivals.
Oh, okay.
A lot of Iranian films come at film festivals, so I guess that's the connection. And I'm a huge Asghar Farhadi fan. Loved Separation. Loved most of his films. So yes, Iranian films has always been a thing, and I don't know, somehow Netflix always suggests Iranian films also to me whenever they come. And French films, because of the filmmaking technique, a lot of us keep discussing that, hey, have you watched Amelie, or the like those, and but never watched a German film. You should tell me, what German film should I watch?
That's a tough question. I mean, I have not seen that many good ones lately. But let me think. I mean, like the classics, like Run, Lola, Run, maybe.
I watched Run, Lola, Run.
Oh,
but then not in... Yeah, so I watched that.
So you watched the German movie.
Ooh, that's a crazy film.
It is.
That is.
Yeah, and there's... you probably maybe watched also the Life of the Others. That has one... Life of the Others. It's like like about East Germany and the Stasi movie.
No.
Where he like listens into this couple, like he has to like oversee them, and it's and he rethinks his life, blah blah blah. But yeah, it won an Oscar. It was a good movie though.
Nice. Okay, we'll watch.
Yeah. But they're also like, I don't know, the independent crowd is really nice, because I mean my friends turned like now more into TV shows, that the director friends, and that's really interesting to see. And
everybody will be TV shows.
I mean, it's the thing, you got it. Sometimes I think it's the right medium. Instead of making it like a 2.5 hour movie or something like that, hey, how about we turn into a TV show and have the character development we need, and like to actually give them the space they need to unfold.
Sure. But I've always been a huge believer, correct me if you think otherwise, that each story decides its format. Like if a story, the story decides whether it needs to be a short or a series, a TV show or a feature. And I guess.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you on that. But I was just thinking, like, for example, looking at, Lord of the Rings. There's the 4-hour extended version where we can see a lot of the characters, but also, hey, there's a 8 episode, is it? I think a TV show, which also has a lot of character development. So that's, I think, great that they do that in certain formats. And sometimes you just need a length, if it is on this epic scale, obviously. and to actually tell the story. Sometimes I think it's missing, and sometimes it's way too much, and so it totally depends. You're totally right. Depends on what you want to tell.
Yeah.
Then my last question for this kind of career starting block is, where do you draw your inspiration from?
I would like to say life's experiences. For the longest time, it was that. For the longest time as an actor, I constantly went back to the moments when I've felt similar emotions. But after a point, it has always been about that moment. And I think when you started getting inspired from that very moment and that situation and that space, and I mean, at least as an actor, I'm presuming that you're asking me this question as an actor. I think that it gives you a whole different technique of performance, and this is something that I actually read somewhere. So,
do you also draw maybe inspiration from other actors and actresses?
Of course.
Who's up there? Who's your, I don't know, acting idol?
Right. I love Vidya Balan. I'm a huge Meryl Streep fan. I am a die-hard Julia Roberts fan. I mean, those are my female actors' most favorite. Radhika Apte, I really like. I'm sure you know her. And then apart from that, male actors, so many. I love Avia Bhagan. I love Nawazuddin Siddiqui, another of my favorite. I love Irfan Khan. So I guess all of these actors, the most amazing thing about them is how, we use this so often, get into the skin of the character. And I keep thinking, okay, so you've gotten the skin of the character, so where's your inspiration coming from, correct? So when we watch them, I think that's what I learned, that it is from that moment, it is from that situation, it is from the surrounding space that they managed to get themselves into and completely block out everything else. That's an entire trip altogether.
Awesome.
At least as an actor.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. I imagine that. I've never never done any acting. Always just behind consuming. But hey, let's do 5 more quick answer questions here, and then we will continue with that conversation about acting and your ideas behind it. So here we go. First one is favorite director.
Mani Ratnam.
There we go. Favorite film poster.
Lucia.
Okay.
And I love that.
Perfect.
You know what? Get into the details of Lucia's posters, and it will blow your mind off. Like, you should see the poster. Watch the film.
It's the one with the where the head silhouette is. Yeah.
So when you do the detailing of it, you will actually, the whole film story is in that poster. I think it's ingenious. It was a time when minimal posters started becoming a thing.
So I mean, I love the latest, the HeadBush poster. I think that was a cool style how they did it. I enjoyed that one as a poster aficionado myself. So
let's just slip it in there.
Exactly. So next one is your favorite dancer or choreographer. It could be also an actor who you like to always love to see. Tough one, huh?
Yeah, like I'm just thinking, who do I love?
I have. While you think, because I have seen Godfather, the Telugu version, and Salman Khan is in that one, and he was dancing at the end. And I was like, really, dude, really, Salman Khan? I mean, he's beloved, but hey, come on, he's not a dancer. Please don't make him dance.
Yeah, I was thinking on the lines of Shahid Kapoor and Hrithik Roshan, because I think they're fantastic dancers.
They are, yeah.
But since you mentioned choreographer, I think I'm gonna go with Shahid Kapoor.
There you go. I mean, I just wanted to give you the chance, from that background.
Yeah, because he worked with a dance company for the longest time. Yeah, obviously.
All right, then next up, is there a favorite song that you have from a movie, or a favorite song you like to dance to?
dance to, huh? Okay. Uh, just because last night was crazy, I have to say, Alice. Who the Alice? You know that song,
Of course I do. Yeah,
obviously.
obviously,
Yeah,
I know that.
yeah, we went crazy with that song. So I think that's like always a hit in any kind of party, irrespective of what language, because you can use the chorus, right?
Yeah, of course.
But otherwise, another dance song, you can still hear the crackers in
Yeah.
India.
That was a cracker. Okay.
The cracker.
Okay.
They've not stopped.
What is it?
Anyway,
Pachaka?
it's a pataka.
I
Good
know
one.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But another song that I really like that I'm currently is my favorite is Josh Turner's Your Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a very nice jazzy feel to it,
Okay.
and yeah, jazz classic. Me like.
All right. And like, do you have like a Bollywood favorite? You always like, if that comes up,
Oh,
you perform right away or something like that?
oh yes. I love what song do I love? So many in Bollywood. Um, I like Manali Trance.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Manali Trance.
I have to say, I was asked because like there was like obviously at the Diwali festivities, there was a lot of Bollywood songs playing, and I was asking, what's your favorite? What are your favorite Indian movie songs? And I was like, I had to go with Natu Natu. That's up top right there. I hope they win.
Yeah.
I hope they win the Oscar for best song, personally. And Ram and NTR Jr. They should perform. That's my
Right.
wish. That's my wish. If that happens,
Right.
I'll be happy. But yeah,
Right.
that's up top. Then number 2, I think it was Salam Rocky Bhai from KGF 1.
My goodness,
yeah.
Tom, you're up to date.
Yes, I am. I seriously, I've watched. I think I'm up to 70 Indian movies this year alone. Just Indian movies.
Wow, I'm impressed. Okay, cool. And then what's your number 3?
And number 3 is Rara Rakama from Vikrant Rona. There you go.
Okay, I'm surprised you didn't say Ooh Antama.
Yeah, no. I love that one. But it's also good. But
Okay.
but yeah,
cool.
so these are my favorites. But let's come to your last one, and I prepared you because I know it's a tough one. Favorite movie quote?
Oh God. You know, the pressure is that you want to choose a good one. At least, yeah.
I mean, you could always choose Terminator, like Hasta la Vista, baby, or something like that.
Baby, yeah. Like, yeah. No, I'm not choosing that.
Okay.
What would it be?
There's an offer you cannot refuse.
Oh, okay. Here's one of my most favorites, actually. Do you remember All Is Well? All Is Well.
All is well from?
3 Idiots?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I got it.
I love that. It's so simple. It's just nothing. But then when used at the right spaces, it's just so profound, I guess. Yeah. All is well.
Okay. You got also you can also do an Indian quote. I don't know, like the original one if you want to. If there's a movie that I don't know. There's probably Indian movies you like more than Western movies. So.
Oh my God. Okay.
You don't have to. I'm just suggesting.
Since you mentioned HeadBush,
Mm-hmm.
and it happens to be one of my most recent releases.
Indeed.
There's a very nice dialogue. It's not a quote, but it's a very nice dialogue that I really like. That the lead actor Dhananjay says. Yeno Bengaluru ಅರ್ಧ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರೆಲ್ಲ ಮೇರಾ ಹೈ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಮೇರಾ ಹೈ ನಂದೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು. So basically, it's an underworld story. It's got an underworld line to it. So it is Dhananjay, the lead actor who is playing the character of Jairaj, saying that why have you split Bangalore into so many tiny pieces? The whole of Bangalore is mine. I wrote Bangalore.
There we go. That's a good line. Yeah. I like that. And let's get into some more questions here about your filmmaking career. I mean, we talked about your inspirations and where you all come from already, but I wanted to know what it is like because Obviously, me coming from a very privileged Western perspective as a male white man, I was wondering what it is like to be a woman in the Indian movie industry, because like from what I see when I watch like the more blockbuster type movies, obviously that women have not the role they should have, or there's I don't see the equality yet. So I'm asking you as a person who is in that industry, is that how is it for you, and do you see that the change is happening?
Right. Okay, so I'm going to say yes. So the second part of your question, do you see the changes happening? Absolutely, yes. And that's what um, is so exciting about the process. That let's just go back a bit, right? When women started acting in films, they were very, very young. At least I'm talking about Indian cinema. They were very young. They came there to make a living, and mostly because there was no other way to feed their family. Most of their stories are the same. The yesteryear actors, I'm talking about your 70s and your 60s, maybe, yeah, early 80s. And post that, there became this formula to cinemas also, where it was all about, it was male centric, it was hero centric, and most of the films that worked, unfortunately, were the ones where the hero played a larger than life character. And we call them mass films. From there, I think there was this entire shift that happened in the whole of Indian cinema, where directors, writers started coming out and giving substantial roles to female actors too. I'm not saying that it was only hero centric, but there was such few films which had that kind of equality in terms of gender characterization. But I guess there became a small thing where people consciously started delving more deeply into female characters, right? So now coming to the first part of your question, how hard was it for you? When I entered the industry term, I came in with a film like Lucia, and I would consider it my absolute luck, because it was a film which gave both the man and the woman equal space and equal respect in terms of the character. Where I'm not just playing a pretty face, or not just
Exactly.
a glamour doll on the side. Came for one song, ran around 2-3 trees, and then said bye bye. But having said that, Lucia did give me a couple of more films with which 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 had some great characters I got to play. But at the same time, to create that balance in my life and to also feed myself, I had to end up doing a few commercial films. Now, what happened in that whole journey was that within myself, it was this absolute conflict. There were times when I went on sets of these commercial films and thought to myself, "Oh my God, what am I doing? What is this? Where is this going?" I remember asking this director once, "Sir, what does this mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Why am I reacting like this?" And these are the exact same lines he said, Tom. You won't believe it. He said, "Yamma, no logic, only magic."
Okay.
Right? So I'm like, "Oh my God, like, what is this?" And I know that every single educated, and I say educated because nowadays that's how we've come into films. Films is, I do it because I love films. It is, I don't do it for the necessity of it, like how I told you back in the day. So it is, all of us, most of us female actors have gone through this whole space where, like, "Oh my God, like, what are we doing?"
I
And
hope
we heard,
so. I hope everybody's doing that.
yeah, I trust me, they have.
Good.
It's just how they choose to to work on it, or it's the choice that they make after realizing that, whether they continue to do it or not. But anyway, I was saying that it it is so hard to get to work in such films, but they do exist, and very sadly they do pull in a huge crowd. And in the business of films, even today, it would not be wrong to say that those are the kind of films that work. But I'm not going to say that it is only difficult or it's only tough. There are times when it is fantastic, that I don't see myself doing anything else. Uh, there have been people who ask me, does that validation come when you win awards, or does that validation come when you watch yourself on screen, on the big screen in the cinemas? I think that validation comes when, but for me it's different. That validation comes when I have accepted a role which has challenged me, and at that moment, remember I keep telling you about the moment. At that moment, when you know that that scene has worked, and that scene has literally been the crux of your character, oh, that happiness, that validation that I feel at that point of time is, I think, incomparable to anything else.
Okay. Speaking of those scenes, is there like the favorite one in your career so far?
Yeah, there is actually one. Yeah. So one of the main scenes would be in a film called Nathi Charami, which is still on Netflix.
On Netflix India or Netflix everywhere?
Netflix.
Hey,
I'm not sure about Germany though, like Europe, but
I will check into it.
Netflix, yeah, you got to check. But Netflix India for sure. And in Nathi Charami, there was this one scene where where I tell a guy. So I basically play a widowed woman, and the film explores her coming to terms with her sexual desires, where in her mind she's constantly like, even if my husband's dead, I cannot cheat on him with another man. But hey, there are physical desires, and it is normal to talk about physical desires of a woman, and it's still taboo in India. In Indian society, to talk about sex and a woman's desires. Even on screen.
There are not that many kisses in Indian movies.
No, there are not many kisses yet. I think Bollywood's changing.
Yeah,
but Telugu is also changing, but it's unfortunately still the male gaze, where you have kisses, but it's still. I cringe, I squirm.
Yep, I feel you.
Yeah, but we have a long way to go. We have such a long way to go in Indian regional cinema, in representing sex and love and romance.
Yeah.
However, that's one scene. Nathi Charami, there's a scene where I have a conversation with the male actor, and Gauri tells him that I want to be in bed with you. I want to, please come to me. And she says that with a lot of fear, a lot of unsurety, but still that's what she wants. And she's like, if I don't say it, who else will? So here goes. And then there's this entire little drama that ensues. And those were very amazing parts for me, because I also got to collaborate with a fantastic actor called Sanchari Vijay, who is unfortunately no more. He died in a terrible accident. He was an absolute asset to, I think, our country. He's also a national award winner, by the way. So yeah, it was definitely one of my most favorite scenes.
How often did you have to record the scene? How many takes?
Actually, very, very few.
Coming up on that point, in terms of talking about what and how you choose your roles and what kind of way, does it play a role for you, especially from a female perspective?
Right. I'd like to say that mostly it's I who choose my roles. Sorry. Yeah, it's I who choose my I'd like to believe that it's I who choose my roles, but more often than not, Tom, I have seen that these roles do come to me, and again, I've always been grateful for those. I'll tell you why I'm actually saying that, because I've been a huge believer that films in general are just bigger and larger than all of us, and they choose the people that need to be on board. Films choose them. So there have been, post Lucia, again, I give credits to that first film of mine, to give me roles that I have really enjoyed doing. So when I do have a choice, there has been a time in my career where if out of 5 scripts that I've heard, I have maybe chosen one or just said no to all the 5. But that's how few I have chosen to do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
'Cause at some level the story doesn't make sense, and I have this thing. The moment somebody comes to me and tells me that it's a bubbly character, madam, and I'm like, in my head, I'm already off. Like, I'm already like, no, not doing it now, not doing it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Also, right now in the time of life that I'm in, I think I'm looking for age appropriate roles. I'm
Mm-hmm.
well into my 30s and I have a kid now. I look different from how I used to when I was before delivery, before having my baby.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am looking for roles where I'm not trying to be somebody else. I mean, it's weird to say that because ultimately we are being somebody else, but I can naturally flow into those characters, and it's believable even for
Mm-hmm.
me that hey, I can do this. So I guess that's the kind of roles that I choose to do now. But I think I have been picky, and good roles have also picked me. So it's a bit of both.
Okay, that's good. And if you like pick a role, how much do you bring of yourself into that character, and how much do you take out of this character for your personal life? Is there something along that
Ah,
lines?
that's nice. That's very interesting. I think I bring in my 100%. At least that's what I like to believe so. Because then I think that's when you're giving it your all. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
not giving 100%, it doesn't make sense.
But is it
So,
but is it then in that context? Isn't it sometimes hard to like I don't know if the character is totally different from you, or did you choose the role already seeing yourself in it like a lot? Is that?
no, you're right. The character could be completely different from who you are, but that
Mhm.
does not mean that I do not bring in my 100%.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I hope you always bring your 100%, but I meant
yeah,
more in terms of maybe
as a
by
person, right?
on a personality level, character traits. Like, do you like pick something, for example, because I don't know, you like to sleep in. Now your character likes to sleep in. This kind of stuff.
Interesting. I have there have been like when I into the work that I've done, there have been times where I have uh, brought myself into that character. There are these some small nuances of yours that you manage to bring in,
Mm-hmm.
and so I cannot put a number to it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
do not have statistics to
It's
give
all
you
good.
saying
All good.
50% 10%, but yes, there have been moments. I think the sleeping in is a good example because uh, a certain way that the character would react, um, smile. I don't know. There has been bits of me, but about me taking back from the character,
Mm.
that's happened more times than
What
I
is
feel.
what is? Can you give an example? What have you taken from a character that you enjoyed and taken for you personally?
Right. So let's talk about the most recent film again. I'm
Okay.
gonna quote Headbush again
Yeah.
because
Plug it.
I
Plug
think
it. It's still in the cinema, people. You can still watch it.
yeah, I play a character called Ratna Prabha, who happens
Mm-hmm.
to be the minister's, the ex-chief minister's daughter. So Headbush is based off a real life story. So Ratna Prabha is a woman who once lived back in the
Mm-hmm.
70s. And so she is she speaks after thinking very, very clearly. And she's extremely political in the sense that uh, she's got this whole game going on in her head. She's got this whole strategy going on in her head, and then she speaks her mind. And that is something that I'd actually like to inculcate within myself because I've noticed that I'm very instinctive. I
Mm-hmm.
say exactly what I feel. I mean, I'm heart to mouth person. I would just think, feel, and say. I think I want to take back what I want to take back from Ratna Prabha is the fact that she would feel and think, process,
Mm-hmm.
analyze, and then speak. So
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
missed
got you.
the analyzing part. I guess that's
So,
something.
how's it working so far?
Yeah. We'll know soon because
Okay.
I've been extremely instinctive in
Hmm.
all career.
I mean, it's hard to change like at
Yes.
our age, so it's all I
Yes.
understand.
That's why I said that, I'd like to take back. I'd
Mm.
like to take back from that.
Okay, perfect. I want to come back to your business degree that you attained, and I was wondering, is that somehow factoring in? I mean, my next question after that would be about producing. Does that factor in that way, or how does your degree from college or university factor in?
I think now, especially, it completely factors in, completely is supporting me in my career, because what I intend to do is stuff behind the camera. I recently directed a music video for a friend,
Hmm.
and we're hoping it releases and becomes an anthem for the World Cup, for the FIFA World Cup
Oh, okay.
that's coming. Yeah. So the song is called "Let It Fly," and I had a great time directing the
Oh,
video.
that's the one with because I saw your Instagram promotion for that.
Yeah.
That's the one, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. So we are releasing the video on the 27th. Just saying. However, uh, what I did realize is my management degree and yeah, really helped me in planning and organizing.
Hmm.
Something which I might have lost out on lest I did something else
Hmm.
for my education. So because it's you usually think that all of it is just creative, especially behind the camera. Well, it's not.
Hmm.
It's so much of managerial duties,
Indeed.
HR stuff, marketing things. So it is essentially you treat it like a business. You treat a film
Hmm.
like a business, and that you don't experience as much as especially as a female actor. I think male actors do involve themselves more in the business of films,
Hmm.
fortunately or unfortunately, but we females, for some reason, we stay away from it. But now, as a director slash producer, the business of films or of the content that you're making becomes super important, and that's where my degree is seeming to help.
That's great to hear. And how's that like what have you done behind the camera so far? Is it just a music video so far, and or I mean you have a producer on a couple of films I've seen, but like how much do you put in terms of, is it just a money thing or is it more than that
Right.
when it's
Um,
producing?
Right. So when I produced two films, two shorts, they're just short films, and they are there on our production house's YouTube channel.
Hmm.
It was definitely more than just putting in my money. I loved going on set. In fact, to the extent that I actually was the one making chai and giving to people on set, because hey, it's still a very small production, and we couldn't
Hmm.
afford, people to come
Set
and
runner,
serve
yeah.
the food. Yeah. So it was definitely more than just investing money in it. It was also a lot of my heart and my time,
Hmm.
because it's something that I did with a lot of love, you know.
Hmm.
So both the films, both the shorts, The Last Kannadika and Rita, both of them are based on social issues. And I think going forward, that's where I see myself working uh, on art that at some level can foster some kind of change, because I
Hmm.
think it's important. I think we all can use our art to say something important. So more than just entertainment, I think going forward, that's what the production house is going to be doing. In fact, my husband, who's also part of the production house, recently made a movement film, which is going to be screened in Canada,
Hmm.
and yeah, so both of us are in this journey with the production house called Kalatmika, wherein wherein we're going to be doing more than just putting our money in.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
So
great to hear. I mean
yeah. So
that
the
that
music video is the first time that I'm directing something,
okay.
but again, we did invest money in it too.
All right. I see. So then let us know what you have coming for us. What's the future plans? I know there are a couple movies that have not been released yet. You're gonna be a star in, and
Yeah.
yeah. But what else is on the horizon?
Direction, writing. I have been for the longest time trying to figure out how to get into this whole space of direction. In
Hmm.
fact, I did want to go study.
Yeah.
I applied for film school at New York at
Uh huh.
NYFA, But
Yeah.
visa, I had a student visa issue, and
Oh, okay.
USA told me that they're not going to give me my visa.
Mhm.
And however, I think now finally I have the guts to plunge and start writing and directing. So that's what future holds for me. However, as an actor, if challenging work comes my way, I do see myself doing it.
Mm.
But yes, I think I'm ready to say my own stories.
All right, all right. Can you let us know maybe about the upcoming films that you have a role in? Let me see which ones they were. It is, oh no, the year. I need to change the year. It's Salugada, Strawberry,
Yeah.
and Agent Kanairam.
Kanairam. Yeah, Agent
Kanairam.
Kanairam. And there is another Kannada film also called Iga. So
Okay.
Salugada has been renamed into Saramsha, which means summary. It's also a very interesting film. In fact, Tom, I'd really like to hear from you as to what you think about the film.
Okay.
I have a feeling you might, if you enjoyed Lucia, you will enjoy Saramsha.
That sounds good.
And Strawberry is another interesting film, again, from a very interesting production house. You know Rakshit Shetty, right?
Yeah.
So Rakshit Shetty produced Strawberry. So again, interesting theme. And the director is also a newcomer. So another interesting story. Iga is something that I'm excited about. So Iga in Kannada means now, in the present moment. And that woman intrigues me, the woman that I play in Iga, somebody who I was absolutely fascinated by. It also deals with extramarital affairs and stuff like that. So definitely female representation in the right manner, Dick. So
Awesome.
Iga is something I'm excited about. Agent Kanairam is, another film that I just did. When you watch it, you know.
All right, okay, perfect. Yeah, it's the films you have to do the other good stuff.
They put food on my plate.
Exactly. I mean, you need to eat. Alrighty, then I would be through with my questions. I have only 3 more rapid round questions to round this whole thing up. And this is going to be a little tougher now. So, name 1 or 2 movies that Westerners should watch, Indian movies.
Yes, so one film that Westerners must watch, an Indian film, is Iruvar. It's another Mani Ratnam film, an absolute classic. Did not do very well in the box office when it released, but an absolute must watch. So Iruvar is one film. There's another Kannada film called Thiti, which I think a lot of Westerners have already probably watched because it did very well in the film festival rounds.
Yeah.
But I think that's a classic too. Another regional film that I really liked in the recent times is Gargi. Sai Pallavi acted in it, and I think that's also a phenomenal piece of cinema. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Then my next question would be, which Indian movie should have been nominated for the Oscar this year? What's your choice on that?
Right.
If you could have picked, which one would you have nominated?
Right. Oh my God.
Tough choice, I know.
Yeah. I would still say Titi. There's something so beautiful about Titi. Yeah, it's a simple film at its heart. Have you watched Titi?
No, I have not. I'll get into it. This is on the list now.
You should watch Titi and call me after that because it's a great film. Titi is definitely one film that I wish was nominated for the Oscars. And Adugalam was already nominated, so that's pretty good.
But yeah, okay. But let's say from this year's movies.
Right. From this year, so many. But what do I say? Okay. I wish I had Google right now, but I'm on my phone. So at least I know the film, but then there was a Netflix film, again, a female-centric one.
Gangubai?
Gangubai Kathiawadi is a great choice. There you go. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. Yep.
I wish Gangubai makes the cut and actually wins an award.
That would have been nice. Yeah, I'm not sure if they categorized it as the last year because I think it was right before the Oscars, but I'm not sure. But we'll let it count because I watched it also this year and it was a great movie. I even because like I'm a teacher by day, so I even like showed my students the movie because we talked about gender and representation and things like that. So that was really great to watch.
Right. Awesome.
All right, then the last and hardest question, I guess. What was your proudest moment of your career?
Um, I'll have to say the release of Lucia. I still remember it to the T that day. It was the premiere show, and it was my first film. None of us thought it would work. All of us, we knew we had made something good. There was love in it, there was honesty in it, but that people will love it, that's a surprise, you know? And when that happens, like your mind's blown. So I have to say that I still remember that day when I was standing on stage after the premiere show and there was a standing ovation, and I think I remember myself crying. Like I was just looking down and just constantly weeping.
I can so see it in your eyes right now. You're being very passionate about it. So it's definitely a good choice for that moment. But yeah, so basically the last thing is it's again your stage. You let us know where like people should follow you on Instagram or whatever, what projects you want to plug and promote. This is your choice, all yours. So go ahead.
All right. So hey people, up until now, I guess most of us have made films because we absolutely love it. And there's something about filmmaking that has constantly brought us back on set. And we continue to do it, not just for ourselves, but also for you all to create that experience, in which you get lost. So here is from one lost soul, hoping all of you come and join us in the world of films. Yeah. So follow me on Instagram. That's the only social media page I'm on for as long as I'm on there. Please follow, and we will try giving you updates of what's happening in our lives. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Sruthi, for taking.
I'm like an absolute social media shy.
It's
doing it just for the sake of it kind of person.
Come on, I think you're doing very well, so don't worry about it. And so I just want to say thank you so much to again to Bharat and Girish for bringing us together and helping us out here to do these interviews and to do this very great interview with you. And it's been a pleasure talking about female empowerment in Indian movies because that has been on my mind for quite some time. And thank you for having this great conversation. I had a great time.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Tom. I had a fantastic time, and I must say that there are very few interviews that gets us thinking, and yours surely did. So thank you so much. Such a pleasure and honor. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And guys, tune in for this interview and on future interviews, and always visit us in the cinema when we have some great releases out there. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. Bye-bye.